don't forget ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone is a real simple way to show your support for what's going on here week after week. Hi everyone, this is Nicole Rivera and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here in the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. This week's episode is sponsored by coffee.com/stopwritingalone. Typically, I would say head on over to the site so you could quote unquote buy me a coffee, but my voice is so messed up and I've not been feeling well this week, so I'd say maybe you could buy me a tea. Either way, the way coffee.com works, it's ko-fi.com. It's a site where you can help support creatives that you love, and it's for the small price of a cup of coffee. You could either do a single one-time donation or you can become a subscriber. Also on the coffee.com/stopwritingalone site, there are PDFs for sale, and for the subscribers, the monthly subscribers, they will get those PDFs direct to them, as well as an extra monthly prompt. So again, the website is ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone. And I could really use a tea. Now on to our episode. Hi, this is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. Happy New Year, and welcome to episode 103. Last week, I talked to you all about writing resolutions and the 7 steps that I use to go through the different resolutions and goals that I set for myself and how I find my way to success. But what I want to talk to you about this week is the inevitable failure that comes with that. So one of my favorite podcasts is the Quote of the Day podcast by Sean Croxton. And Sean had shared on his Instagram account a tweet that he shared out. It was either on New Year's Eve, it was somewhere around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever it was. And he wrote, "Statistics say 93% of people who set New Year's resolutions fail. Only 7% succeed. The truth is 100% fail. The 93% fail once and give up. The 7% fail repeatedly and choose to keep going." When I read this last week, I thought to myself, I really need to make sure that my audience totally gets this, because I feel like last week I may have given you the impression that I was giving you 7 steps to smooth sailing success and nothing was going to get in your way and this is it. But that last step that I shared with you about being flexible really hinges on this idea that I think Sean was referring to, this idea of failing and yet getting back up and trying again, over and over again. One of the things that I found with teaching, one of my greatest frustrations, was the inability to understand the power of making mistakes. I taught high school, so by the time my students came to me, they had their own ideas about what it meant to be a good student. And, you know, it's inbred in us from the beginning that to be a successful student, you must be a quote unquote a student. Where my whole vision of learning is steeped in growth, getting one step further than you were before. As long as you continually do that throughout your life, as long as you continue to step one step further than you did before, you are succeeding. Perfection is not success. Growth is. So I love the way that Sean pointed this out, that, these 7% of people are not people that are going into their New Year's resolutions and just cruising through and having this wonderful success throughout the year. They're people that are failing over and over and over again. And as if the universe was just like beating me over the head with the fact that this was the conversation I needed to have this week. Also over on Instagram, I follow Liz and Molly, which is a great little web comic. I just love all the stuff that every time they have a post, I'm just so excited. So it was earlier this week, and it was a little, a one panel thing that says, when you are thinking, I am a failure, reframe it and keep going to, that was a failed attempt. And this is really like the bring home message. I don't want you to think, and this goes for your writing, this goes for your resolution, this goes for every single thing that you take on in your creative life or any other part of your life. When it fails, it's not about you. And I talk about this when we talk about critiquing work, that when we critique each other's writings, we're not critiquing the writer. We're not saying you did this wrong. We're critiquing the piece of work. You have got to be able to have that same internal conversation with yourself whenever you have a failure. Because when you can do that, when you can separate the two. So if I pick up my writing resolution for this year, I said it's to submit something every single week. If I don't get something submitted this week and I automatically say, I am a failure, I'm never going to submit anything this year because look at how I started off. Well, then I'm done. I'm done. I'm done for the year because I'm a failure. So there's nothing I can do to fix that. But if I say, this was a failed attempt, this week did not go my way, I didn't find the right piece or the right place or whatever it is, then that means I can try again, right? I can be flexible and try again. So this distinction, this Liz and Molly cartoon, and I will drop a link into the show notes for the cartoon so that you can have it, like if you need to print it out or what have you. I don't know if Liz and Molly sell prints. If they do, this would be a great one to have. The distinction between I am a failure to that was a failed attempt is the game changer that I really want you to take away from today's episode, because that is going to take you through this entire year, this entire career into success. So, and if you need some sort of mantra or something to sort of write down and remind you that you don't necessarily want to avoid failure, right? Because there's that old adage, in order to succeed, what you have to do is you have to fail faster. You have to just keep failing over and over again. Then here are a couple of ways that fail has been transformed into an acronym to sort of help you see it differently. So the first one that I had ever heard was FAIL stands for first attempt in learning. Another great one that I really love is FAIL stands for flawlessly ascending in life. Another one is FAIL stands for forever acquiring important lessons. And then one more that I found was that FAIL stands for first action in learning. And I truly stand behind that. I did as a teacher, I do now as a writer, that whenever we fail, we are just learning. And as long as we don't let that sink us and we can take that lesson and move forward with it, then we're all the better for it. So I just wanted to bring that to you during January, because here's the key. It's kind of like, if you've been listening, you know that I would say in NaNoWriMo month, like that second week, people that are still hanging around by week 3, I feel like they're truly committed. The second week is the hump. I feel like January is a real make or break month. If you can stick it through January and still show up for your resolution in some way in February, then I feel like you are on the right path. So just in case I was misguiding anyone and you were feeling like I was preaching flawlessness with the 7 steps to the writing resolution last week, I wanted to come in here and make sure that I gave a little shout out to failure, to mistakes, to stumbling along the way, because if you don't do that, you're never ever going to allow yourself the entire process to get to success. But believe it or not, I am going to leave you with that because you may have noticed my voice is a hot mess of everything. I've not been well this year. And I'm going to go try to get some extra rest of my voice and my body and all the things. But I do want to let you know, if you had missed it, on January 1st, I did release the first episode on the YouTube channel for 2021. And this year, I'm going to do what we're calling Friday Night Writes. And it's going to be a new writing video every single Friday. And instead of just straight up fiction prompts, we're going to run on a rotation. So every month has either four weeks in it or 5. So the way that the Friday Night Writes is going to work is that the first Friday of every month will be a tool, a writing prompt tool that I will share a prompt from, tell you a little bit about the tool, and then give you a prompt to write a story for the week. The second Friday of every month will be something more along the lines of a writing exercise, which may or may not lead to a completed story, but will definitely work your writer muscles and get you into some great writer practice. It may be focused on a specific writing skill, or just stretching your boundaries one way or the other. So that's the second Friday of every month. The third Friday will be a tool or exercise with a focus on creative nonfiction. So this way, this year, I didn't want to leave out all of my nonfiction writers. I feel like last year was a great journey with everybody writing short fiction, but this year I wanted to reach out to the whole Stop Writing Alone community. So if you're a not creative nonfiction writer, an essayist, a blogger, even a memoirist, then you're definitely going to want to make sure you tune in to the MV Rivera YouTube channel on the third Friday of every month to get your prompt or exercise. The fourth Friday is what I'm really looking forward to. Every single month, I will be running a live writing prompt party that everyone is invited to. So I will include the link in the show notes for signing up for the email list to make sure that you get the Zoom link for that. And that'll be happening, like I said, every single month. On the fourth Friday, we will have a live meeting where I will share a prompt. We will all write on it together, and then we will read aloud our stories. It's a lot of fun. If you've never done it before and you want to check it out, when you go to the YouTube channel, just check out Writing Prompt 52, because we did an extended version of the Writing Prompt Party for New Year's Eve as our last writing prompt of 2020. But also, some months do happen to land funny, that there are 5 Fridays sometimes. And when there is a 5th Friday in the month, the 5th Friday will be a poetry or songwriting prompt, because I feel like I've really left out my poets. So this year, since it's not, like in my wheelhouse or my strength, I didn't want to commit to it every single month. Perhaps next year I'll be more prepared, but for the months that have 5 Fridays, you will get a little shout out. So that's NV Rivera on YouTube, and you can subscribe to make sure that you get all the videos as soon as they go live, or you can sign up for the email list to make sure that you get the the Zoom link for the writing prompt party. But I think that's the only announcements that I have for now. And I just want to wish you all a wonderful week. I hope everyone is feeling well and doing well and getting lots and lots of words in the beginning of this year. But I will talk to you again next week, unless I will see you this Friday over on YouTube. Have a fantastic week. Happy writing, and I will talk to you next Thursday. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter where I'm at NV_Rivera to find links to our email newsletter. Recording, hosting, editing, producing. It's so much work. Disaster has struck. I finished my coffee. Tell me coffee is coming. ko-fi.com/stop writing alone.